What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 38, Ticking Time Bombs. Let's start off with Justine and Michael. So we are where we left off last week with Justine and Michael. They're in the bathroom and they're taking a pregnancy test. And while they were waiting for the results, I had no idea like which way it could go. I was leaning towards it being negative. And so when Michael was like, oh, it's positive. I was like, what? And so they showed the test and it was a very clear, unmistakable positive. That line was so dark. So she's pregnant, y'all. And I know that Justine is really happy. And I don't think she's necessarily happy just for being pregnant. I think she's happy that she's pregnant by Michael. I think for some reason she kind of sees it as a badge of honor to be having Michael's baby. I don't know why I feel that way, but that's just a feeling that I get from her. She's so enamored by this guy. And I felt like she really didn't feel connected to him until they were able to, create this life together. So Michael says he doesn't want her to work anymore. He wants her to stay home and take care of the kids. And Justine was like, that's not an option for her. She says in the last episode, she even talked about how she needed to go to work because she needed the insurance, and she really needs it now more than ever because she is pregnant. So she says how not working is not an option for her. She talks about how working, she's happy to go to work because it gives her a break from the kids. She says that if she didn't have this job, she wouldn't have an adult to talk to on a day-to-day basis. And so work is like an escape from her home life. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, she's going to keep her job. Well, how come, like, with almost within the same breath, she calls her supervisor and tells her supervisor, I thought she was going to tell her supervisor, I'm pregnant. No, but she told her supervisor that she was quitting and that was going to be her last day. And her supervisor tries to get her to change her mind. And she's like, no, I've already thought about it. I put a lot of thought into it. And I've decided to stay home with my husband and kids, or to stay home with my kids. What about your insurance? And Michael is trying to make something happen, true enough, but it ain't happening right now. It's not popping off right now. His music career is not popping off right now. And the music industry is so extremely competitive. Y'all, I don't know what the hell Michael and Justine are doing. So Michael says that music is what's going to support his family. Okay, the shoe business is not it. Okay, it's not it right now. But music is what's going to support his family if he ever gets this music career off the ground. And he says that one hit and he is set for life. Excuse me. I don't know. Michael was gone. He was incarcerated for like what, 6 years or something? I don't know. No, there used to be a time when a really good hit record will make you like a household name. It would blow up your career. You could really make it big with one really good album. It's not like that anymore. Because people don't buy records or CDs or anything like. People are streaming, and they're streaming whatever songs that they want to listen to. So you cannot sell a collection of music and think that you're going to make it big. But he says it's one hit, so he really needs just one song. And there have been plenty of songs that have been extremely popular and have been hits. But I don't really see the artist really like making enough money to live a lifetime off of from one song. I don't know. I'm just like, Michael, you need to have a plan B. You need to maybe a plan C, because the music game and the sneaker game, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be popping off anytime soon. And you already got 7 kids to feed and you're expecting an 8th. So you can still pursue your musical dreams and your sneaker dreams, but you're going to have something that's going to be bringing in steady income right now, because you already told your woman to quit her damn job. So he goes to the studio. I don't know where he found this studio. I don't know if he found this on Yelp, on Facebook Marketplace, but he goes to this damn studio, which is in somebody's basement or something, some kid named Jacob. And he was like, I know the studio ain't all that, but I'm really limited to where I can go. But you're in Pennsylvania. I mean, it's not like you're in, Podunk, Arkansas. You're in Pennsylvania. So there's no other major studios that you could go to. I'm not knocking Jacob's studio game. He looks like he had a pretty decent studio setup in his mother's basement or whatever was going on. But you can't go to Philly or anywhere else where there's like a decent studio. And Philly's probably far away from where they actually live. I have no idea. But this is the best that you can do, which tells me it had nothing to do with distance. And I know that he's restricted to Pennsylvania. He can't go Rhode Island or wherever the hell he's at. I get that. But I think he was in Jacob's studio because of cost. I don't think Jacob was going to charge him as much as a real deal professional type studio. So he was in Jacob's studio because all he could afford was Jacob's studio. I mean, good luck to Justine and Michael, but it seems like they have a mountain to overcome. They have a mountain to climb with all the issues. I mean, they got 7 kids and you tell your wife to quit her job? I don't know if Michael was feeling like emasculated because Justine was going to work every day and he was at home with these kids. I don't know. But I think that was just a wrong move to tell her to quit her job. Moving on to Ashley and Travis. So they're on the way to see his mother and they want to buy something for his mom because Travis says he can't show up at his mother's house with nothing. He can't show up there empty handed. Why not? You just came from prison. Your mom knows that you don't have a job. Your mom just wants to see and hold you. She could care less about some damn candles, especially y'all, the decisions that these people make. That money could have been for groceries. It could have been for, now I'm not talking about a lot of groceries because, you know, these groceries are high as hell. You got to take out a damn loan just to go to the grocery store. But I'm saying the $60 or whatever they spent on these damn candles, it could have been a meal for a day or two or something. But anyways, it's so important for them to get these damn candles for his mother, right? So they swiped the card and the card was declined. It was Ashley's card and it was declined. So then they try to scrap some cash together. They literally go into the car and they're looking for like loose change and crumbled up dollar bills in the car for some damn candles. When I don't even think the mother would even give a damn whether or not they bought her the candles. So they get the candles and whatever. They go to his mother's house and it's been 4 years since Mama has seen Travis. And so after the preliminaries, you know, introducing her to Ashley, blah, 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 Mom lets it, she lets it be known that her and her son are very close and that nothing can break their bond. You know, she's already laying it down for Ashley. Like, you know what, no matter what happens at the end of the day, he's going to choose his mama. So they talk about Ashley and Travis's finances and how horrible they are. And the mom thinks that they should not be getting married right now because they have financial problems. That's just going to like... Anywho, so the mom tells them, you know, maybe y'all shouldn't get married right now because you have all these financial issues. Well, she didn't tell them directly. She was talking this in her little camera interview, saying that, you know, I don't think they should get married right now because they're broke. And that could lead to a lot of problems in a relationship when you're struggling with money. And the next thing you know, 6 months later, y'all are headed to divorce because y'all damn near killed each other because you can't support yourselves. So the mom gives them a tour of her house and mom has this basement and this basement is really nice. It's like a little apartment. Okay. It is fixed up so nice. It has its own little living area. It has a full bedroom, a full bathroom. It's a really nice place. And so the mother offers this basement for them to stay in until they get back on their feet. And Ashley says in her confessional that she doesn't want to live there because she doesn't want to live under a microscope. Now, the mother does look like that kind of mom who might meddle too much, but girl, you're going to have a roof over your damn head. You're going to be sleeping on a comfortable bed and you don't have to worry about room rates. So the next time we see them, Ashley is at the damn thrift store trying to hawk her antique jewelry. And it's a thrift store. It's not a jewelry store. It's not an antique shop. It is a thrift store. And she wants to sell this $2,000, $2,500, $1,500 jewelry at this thrift store. So obviously they're going to have to cut price a lot. I mean, they're going to have to slice and dice the prices on her jewelry because you're trying to sell it at a thrift store. Like, what? The people who are going to go there are not going to, girl, what are you? But anyways, the owner was like, or the manager was like, okay, I'll take a look. And so that he takes a look, and I don't even know what they were talking about or what the hell was going on in this scene, because Ashley, you can't sell. How much do you think you're going to, are you that if you're that desperate that you're going to sell jewelry that's worth $1,500 for $100 or whatever the hell you were trying to do, why don't you just fill out an application? Just go to work. I don't understand why you want to struggle like this. Just keep your jewelry until you're able to get your business off the ground again and go get a job. I mean, you're trying to sell this jewelry as if you were what you used to be, which was this, I don't know, successful, fine antique jewelry purveyor or whatever the hell she was calling herself. Those days are gone, sweetheart. Go to McDonald's, Burger King, Walmart, Target, the library. Go fill out an application somewhere, Ashley, and quit playing around. So back home, Travis is talking to his mom, and he's trying to convince his mother that it's okay for him and Ashley to get married right now. And the mother's trying to convince him that it absolutely isn't. The mother tells him, you don't even know each other. And he says, what are you talking about? We were talking on the phone 5 times a day, 365 days. For 4 years. What are you talking about? We don't know each other. I've known her for 4 years. I was talking to her on the phone every single day for 4 years. And the mother says, yes, when you were in prison. Y'all's relationship was based on you being in prison. It's not based on the real world. Now you're going to have to get to know her all over again in this world. And it's completely different when y'all are like living in the free world together. It's not like it was in prison when there were no financial problems. He didn't have to worry about finances. Evidently, her business was doing somewhat okay. So it's a completely different world now. So you're going to have to relearn each other and learn how. He didn't want to hear it. He was like, Mom, we're ready to get married. We want to get married. This is what we're going to do. And so the mom was like, okay, we'll just keep going round and round in circles. So she walks away and she's like, you know what? My door is still open to you. The mom says, you know her from when you were locked up. You don't know her in the real world, which is 1,000% true. 1,000% true. A prison relationship does not compare to a real world or free world relationship. When you have free world issues like rent and insurance and groceries, and, you know, if the car breaks down, who's going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that? Stuff like that. Utilities. First month, last month rent. You don't have to worry about that when you're canoodling on the phone and the other one's in prison. Anyways, moving on to Monique and Derek. When they put on the screen that it's been 4 days since Derek has been released, I was like, what? Derek has been doing a lot in those 4 days. He has been out and about. We found out the fact that he had this other girlfriend in prison, a correctional officer. We found out that he's at the damn jewelry store trying to find an engagement ring for Monique. He's hanging out with his siblings. He went to the damn cemetery. I mean, he has been doing a lot. And this is just like all in one day. I was like, damn, Derek. So his brothers, so he's back at his brother's apartment, I think. And the brothers are like, what are you doing with Monique? That is not your type. She's not your type. What are you doing with her? And he tries to explain to them that he's with her because she's been very loyal to him. And, you know, she really does love him. And she was holding it down for him. And when nobody else was there, Monique was there. And the brother says, well, I know the sex must be trash. Why? Because she's fat? What? I mean, the hatred that these siblings have for Monique because she happens to be overweight is just confusing to me. They've not met her. The sisters have. The brothers haven't. And the sisters met her that one time. They don't really know her. at all to pass any kind of judgment on her, but they're just going based on the way that she looks and the way that she's carrying on extra weight. And they feel like they've completely figured her out and they have written her off. And she is not worth the air that she breathes because she's overweight. Because she's overweight, she's not worth their brother's time. She's not worth living in society with everybody else. She needs to be ostracized. Send her away on a deserted island. We don't even want to look at her. They have such a visceral hate for this woman because she's overweight. And when they keep on telling him, that's not your type, that's not your type. And one brother was like, yeah, we don't do BBW. But you're not the one dating Monique. If you don't want a BBW, that's fine. You don't have to get one. Stick with your skinny minis or your more fit women. You're not the one dating Monique. Your brother is dating Monique. I don't understand how people want to have such control over someone else's life. Monique ain't got nothing to do with them. And your brother is with this woman for whatever reason. He claims it's for love. He loves this woman. Obviously, I don't think he does. I personally believe that he's using her in some capacity, because if he did love her, he wouldn't be trying to talk with the CO, with the correctionals officer and doing all that. But anyways, get out of your brother's business. Let him do whatever. And the funny thing is, they cannot stand Monique because she's fat. But then it's like, okay, your brother was in prison for selling drugs. He was a part of this machine that was poisoning his own community by facilitating the drug addictions of people in his own community. Or even outside, just facilitating the drug addictions of any person, of any human. He was responsible for that. People who were sick with an addiction, he was helping them further that addiction by selling drugs to them. But that's perfectly okay. But we can't stand Monique because Monique's fat. Okay. So as far as the sex being trash, Derek is like, it's not, it's good, I'm happy. And then he pulls out his tablet. So he has this tablet that he had with him when he was still incarcerated. And it was a tablet that they would use behind bars to communicate with women. And women would send them all kinds of pictures and videos and whatever else. And so he starts playing a video, I guess, of what a woman has sent him. And the brothers are looking at it and they're like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's the kind of girl that you need to be with. If he wanted to be with that, he could, because obviously, Derek ain't got no problem getting girls. You know, if he wanted to be with that, maybe he is with that, because he's letting it be known to us that Monique is on his one and only. You know, she almost got ran off the road by another woman that he is, trying to entertain. So Derek tells his brothers that they need to just give Monique a chance, and whatever. So the sisters come in, and when the sisters come in, they all start ragging on Monique, talking about Monique like a damn dog. So then Derek and the siblings, they go visit their mother's gravesite. Their mother was shot and killed on her birthday when Derek was 20 years old, before he went to prison. And he said that his mom was the one that introduced him to the street life. Like, the mom was the one that pointed out some weed and said, hey, you can either smoke it or sell it. His mother did that. It's nighttime now. Okay, he's done hanging out with his siblings. They drop him off. It's nighttime. And we see Monique. Monique's in bed. She had on her jammy jams. And it's night for Monique. Monique is about her sleep. She is all about her damn sleep. She is not going to sit up and wait up for Derek to come home. Monique was out. Okay, it was night for Monique, because the next day Derek says, I came home last night and you were sleeping like a baby. You were snoring. So the next day they talk about his day. She asked him, where were you? What the hell were you doing all day? He says he was with his brothers and sisters. Monique was asking him, why didn't he just tell her where he was at? Because she had been trying to call him, blowing up his phone. And while they're having this conversation, he gets a call from his PO. And the PO was asking him a whole bunch of questions about his past drug use, I guess, because he's going to have to start getting drug tested. And he tells his PO that, yes, he did partake in marijuana and cocaine. And Monique can hear this. So So then Monique questions him and says, I never knew that you were on drugs or that you took drugs, because you always told me that you never smoked or you never used your own product. You just sold it. And he lies to her, and he said that he would get he wasn't necessarily like taking drugs, but when he would prepare the drugs for sale, he would get like a table high, which is, you know, like he says, when he was like cutting up the heroin, because, you know, it was so much of it that he would do on a day-to-day basis, that he would start, you know, that he would cut up or whatever, and cut up and package, it would seep into his pores and it would get into his system, and he would get high off the product that way. So it wasn't like he was deliberately taking the drug. It was just, you know, his body was absorbing the fumes or whatever. And with the cocaine, I guess when he was packaging the cocaine, you know, he would taste it, I guess, to check the quality. And okay, Derek, I understand what you're talking about, you know, getting a table high, because if you can get cancer from secondhand smoke, yeah, then I can totally believe that you can get like secondhand highness or whatever from drugs that you're not actually using. But was this stuff getting into your system to the point where you have to tell your PO that you are a drug user, that you used to be a drug user? Was it that much into your system that you consider yourself a drug user? That didn't make any sense. Because you licked cocaine here and there, that made you a drug user? Anyways, Derek then says to us, he says, there's a lot about me that Monique does not know, and I'm not going to be stupid enough to tell her all at once, even though I'm about to marry this woman. Hell no, I'm not going to tell her all about me. She's going to slowly find out everything that she needs to know, little by little. Then Monique asks him once again, who do you think was chasing us? He was like, I don't know. And she was like, Derek, you know, I had to switch rooms and switch cars. This is serious. Monique, I told you last week, if you're that scared, instead of like, oh, Derek, you need to be by my side 24 hours a day because I'm so scared, go home. Go home. If you're that scared, because this man ain't going to be your bodyguard. He's got stuff to do and people to see. Moving on to Eris and Cameron. So it's the day after their wedding, and Cameron is getting ready because he's going to go see his family. They're throwing him a welcome home party. Eris says that she's not feeling well, and so she's not going. Cameron's upset about that. He's like, I want you to come with me and meet the rest of my family, because she said something about how, oh, I already met your family, I don't got to see them again. And he was like, yeah, but you didn't meet all of my family. Not all of them were at the wedding, so I want you to come with me. And she's like, you don't understand, I'm really not feeling good. And so then Cameron says, well, this is going to leave a really bad impression on my family if you don't show up. And then he tells her, I'm gonna have a serious talk with you when I come back. And she was like, well, you do what you got to do. And then he says, control your neck muscles when you talk to me. Little George Jefferson trying to be all tough. So he goes to his family's house. Everybody's really happy to see him. And the first thing that the family ask him is, where's your wife? Okay. Where's your wife? Anyways, so we see Eris. She's back at the hotel, and her daughter's getting ready to go back to Florida. So she's basically, you know, saying goodbye to her daughter. And her daughter, she's such a sweetheart. She says, well, tell Cameron I said bye. And then Eris says, well, girl, why don't you just call him yourself and tell him bye? Why don't you call him for her? The family, so we're back at the family get together. The family, they do feel some kind of way about Monique not being at this damn party. So they're going to let her know about it. So they call her, and the sister's like, why aren't you here? And she's like, oh, I wasn't feeling well, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, what's wrong with you? And I think she said something about drinking too much. And so, yeah, they didn't like it. And so they tell Cameron, so she wants you to move all the way to Florida with her, but she can't come right down the street to our house to meet us and celebrate with us. She can't be bothered with that. And so everybody's telling him how this is not the right move. You married her too soon. Y'all don't know each other. You're not ready. The aunt gets all over him about how you're just not ready to be a husband and take on the responsibility of a child. The sister says, you keep on talking about how Eris is our sister. She's our sister, but she's not even here to spend time with us and hang out with us, because a sister would definitely be here with us. And so Cameron is like, he's done. He's had it. He's like, you know what? This is something that you got to take up with her. I I'm done. I'm done. But by this time, Cameron is drunk. He can barely focus his eyes. He's so drunk. He tried to sit on the damn table. He almost fell and broke his neck. Then he got up on the chair, with his little Napoleon complex self. He gets up on the chair and he starts screaming at everybody to leave him alone or whatever the hell he was screaming and shouting. And then he got so upset he left. Cameron was drunk. He was drunk out of his mind. This is not a good start. This is not a good start to a marriage. Eris, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? Skyler and Nathan. So the producers show up at Skyler and Nathan's property to start filming. They're supposed to film that day. And Nathan's friend was also there. His friend Jake was also there because I guess they were going to do a scene together. So they're waiting and waiting. There's no Skyler. There's no Nathan. They're calling. No one's answering. They knock on the door. No one's opening the door. Skyler's mom shows up and Skyler's mom is really worried because if she can't get in touch with Skyler, she's thinking that maybe Skyler had relapsed. So 4 hours later, Skyler shows up with Nate. He drops her off at the house and then he drives off, but a cameraman is with him. So they're trying to figure out like what was going on with y'all. And he said that they had been fighting all day the previous day. They've been fighting all day and all night. In his little confessional, the producer asks him what happened and he says he didn't want to talk about it. So Skyler has a conversation with her mother and she tells her mom that they got into a fight because she was hanging out with her girlfriend and she came back late. And so Nathan was upset about that and he accused her of seeing another man. And so they argued about that all night long. And it got to the point where she said he accidentally chucked her phone and it hit his truck. But she was so mad about that, even though she called it an accident, she was so upset about that she took his phone and broke his phone. And the mother says, this relationship is not good for you. This is not a healthy relationship. And when you get into this kind of conflict with someone, this triggers you. And I'm afraid you're going to relapse. And I think what's going on with Skyler, the reason why she's still with Nathan, I think Nathan has her emotionally trapped. I think that she feels sorry for him in a way because he loves her so. I don't even know if it's love. I don't know if he loves her or if he's obsessed with her. I have no idea. He's so like, Skyler is his life. He does everything for Skyler. It's all about Skyler for him. And she knows this. And so I think she feels guilty possibly for breaking up with him. I feel like she's just emotionally trapped. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to leave him. Or maybe she feels like if she does leave him, it'll cause him to relapse. Or she just has too much guilt about leaving him. So she's just stuck. She's just stuck in this relationship. I think she's emotionally trapped by Nathan. I think when she thinks about leaving him and how crazy he's going to be and how brokenhearted he's going to be, she doesn't want to deal with it. She doesn't want to see it. She doesn't want to deal with it. And so she's like, you know what? I'm going to just stick it out with him until I can't stick it out with him anymore. But girl, it might be too late. This is a very unhealthy relationship. He is very obsessed with her. He's very controlling. Yeah, this is not a good relationship. His jealousy is out of control. This is not it. She needs to break up with him. How he takes it is not her problem. He needs to have the coping skills to deal with a breakup because everybody on earth has dealt with a breakup. He is no different and no special from anybody else. So he needs to figure out how to move on from Skyler if she does decide to break up with him. But I think that Skyler is emotionally trapped in this relationship. So that is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.